Hi, Julie Torrance here. So, I don't have a gift. People have been asking me about the washi tape that I use when I'm doing watercolor. And I had just ordered a new pack. This was my original pack, and I had this for years. But, well, I'll show you. As you can see, just about out. So, they still have it on Amazon. I got this about a week ago. But all this washi tape, each of these rolls is full of rolls, and I just love it. And I just looked up on Amazon grid washi, and it came right up. So I will put a link. I'm not an Amazon affiliate, but I can put links, and I will link it if you're interested, but it works well for me. Now, this is the watercolor that we did last time, and I think it came out beautiful, but I noticed there are people that are having some trouble with trees. Let's do a simpler tree. And I always say use what you have. So I just pulled out my old Jane Davenport. This is a student grade paint, and it's called the Brights. This exact set is not made anymore. That's how long I keep watercolors. They keep. But she has a Brights set on her website. So you can still get it, but I know it's a different formula, but I'm sure it works just fine. So I'm just going to set these up. I know you can't see the watercolor, but I try to get you as close as you can so you can see this. All right, let's get going. Enough jibber jabber. I've got a pencil, and I am just going to loosely make a horizon line, kind of in the middle, and then I'm going to put a tree. So this tree is going to be close up to us, not in the center, but I'm going to put it over here. Big teardrop, just like that. And I think I'll just put a teardrop here, and then maybe I'll just have one poking up way back there. And so there is our trees. I'm gonna grab a round watercolor. This is my Grumbacher 8, wetting my brush. These paints, they do activate fast, which means it doesn't take a lot of water and you start getting going. This set happens to have an indigo color, so I'm just gonna grab some of it and get it ready, but you can see I'm getting plenty of pigment right off the bat. And I'm gonna grab a bigger brush, and I'm gonna go ahead. I've got some splatters, that's all right. I am just putting water where the sky is. I'm avoiding those trees. Doesn't have to be perfect. So I'm going above that horizon line, and I'm just avoiding those trees so I can put my indigo sky in. I want it shiny with water, but I don't want it puddles. If you get some puddles, don't worry, but I'm just telling you what I'm trying to do. My air conditioning is going. Yes, I know it's almost the end of September. We've been in very warm weather. All right, I'm grabbing that indigo, darker on top. The closer to the horizon line, the lighter it gets. And here we go. And again, I'm just basically outlining these trees, and the paint's going to want to go where the water is. Little water, little pigment, and back into here we go. Little more water, little more pigment. And I want this to look like a heavy winter sky at night. So I'm going to just grab some, and I'm going pure pigment this time, not going in the watered down stuff. And I'm going to put a couple of streaks rinse my brush, set it aside, and I'm just going to hold this up. Give it some taps and let those just kind of wash around a little bit, those darker lines. And they're just moving a little, just kind of that hazy look. Now, this set does not have any kind of white, and I want snow. This is my gouache. This is Utrecht, and it's made by Blick, and I don't have any out. I'm just going to put a dot in my palette. It doesn't take much when you get tubes. Now, gouache is a watercolor that is not transparent. I'm grabbing a small brush, wetting it. I'm grabbing some of that white that I just laid there, and I think you can see it. I think so. And I'm just going to dot into the wet, and it's going to make these kind of cloudy, spread out glows, like the snow is glowing. And it's just a nice way to start some snow. Okay, I'm liking it. All right, rinse. So you don't have to worry about using your watercolor brushes or things like that when you've got gouache. All right, now I've got my brush, same brush that number 6, was that what I said? 8, sorry. This is the snow. Snow is going to reflect what's around it. I'm using a very watery, there's that gouache if you didn't see it before. Very watery of this blue, and this stuff is strong. So I'm just going to put, a little wave of snow, little wave up here, another wave up close. That's it. Just going to let those be. All right, I'm going to work on my tree. Now, I'm going to go back to my pencil. Watercolor is transparent. So if I put all the color of the tree in, when I put ornaments on with this paint, it's going to turn a muddy color. So I'm just going to put, and I'm dragging my hand in there, so I'm just going to blur that out. I'm going to put some circles, some on the tree, some off the tree, but I'm going to avoid them. Bigger at the bottom, that's just me. You put your ornaments on any way you want. I have this one. It's gonna pick up that blue, but that's okay. A few smaller ones. And these are not perfect circles. It doesn't matter. All right, number 8, going in. Now these colors are very bright, and I'm just going into this yellowy green color. Yellowy green. And it's going to be kind of like those mid-century modern colors. And I'm just going to fill this in. I'm not doing any fancy brush strokes. I'm just kind of filling it in similar to how I might do a coloring book. Just that simple. It's going to take a minute, but that's all right. Now, if you cut into your circles a little bit, that's okay, because that's going to just sort of look like a reflection on the edge of your ornament, reflecting the color of the tree. So it's fine. Yep. So how are you? I hope you're doing well. I have to tell you, working on these Christmas things, I'm also working on I'm getting a little more water and a little more paint. I'm also working on some Christmas printables. So it's really getting me in the Christmas spirit way here in September. That's okay. I think it's the 22nd today. I'm not sure. Sunday. Yeah, I'm doing okay. I do hope you are too. If I'm not doing okay, this'll help. Just being with you, getting my mind off of what's not okay, which For those of you that are new, welcome. I have rheumatoid arthritis, and I'm a nurse, and I didn't realize all that goes into that when I was diagnosed. But some days are better than others. But if I'm up to painting or doing my art, making a journal, working on a printable, it helps. Gets my mind off it. I hope you find the same thing if life's giving you the blues a little bit. Get out your watercolors. And say, well, you know, I'm not really in the mood to create. Well, swatch your colors. Do, you know, just get the brush wet and see what your paints can do. Okay, I think we've got a nice tree going here. And yeah, you can see different brush strokes, places I've overlapped and didn't overlap. That's all right. It's a tree. It's natural. All right, let's get now. This tree's a little further back. I'm just going to touch. Here. Let's not guess. I'm going to touch the green, put a little more here. Not even cleaning my brush. I'm just going to give it a one time into there. Boof. A little more. Can always add more. It's hard to go backwards. That's all. I'm just darkening it just a touch. And I'm going to put that color in here. You may say, well, it doesn't look any different. It'll probably will, but to tell you the truth, what the goal more is that maybe you don't notice, but it just gives a more, I'm doing the tip of that other tree. It just gives more of a perspective look. So it may make the tree look a little further back, even though we don't know exactly why. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and get a little trunk on that tree. Now, I don't have a brown in here, but I have purple and I have green. So I'm going to grab some of this purpley color. I don't need much. Grab some of that green, and whatever kind of a brown that makes, that's what I'm using. Yep. And all it's going to be is a dark. And I believe that my tree is dry enough that the colors aren't going to just jump at each other. But if it does, again, it's fine. Little one for here. Very little. There. Okay. Good. Now, ornaments. Should I go multicolor? Yeah, why not? I'm going to start out with this pink. This is a hot pink. Now, these colors in this kit are very, they're very bright. Almost, there we go. Isn't that pretty? Almost like fluorescent colors, like fluorescent highlighters. Here's the thing about fluorescence. I don't care whose paint. I don't care how expensive. The Daniel Smiths or whatever. Very rare are they going to be light fast. We're making Christmas cards. We're not making pieces that will probably be framed. It's fine. It's fine. Okay, one more. Nice. Okay, I like it. Rinse. I'm going to go into this blue. I believe at the time I bought this, she called this 70s eyeshadow. And I remember it because I think it's the perfect name. All right. Using the same paints from the same kit, your colors tend to want to go together nicely. Now, if you've got a kit of 25 or 30, yeah, no, that's not going to follow true. But this is a set of 12. And I think they go together quite nice. All right, I'm going to do one more small blue one. Okay, we've got 3 left. And I'm going to head into It's kind of a pinky color, see? I don't want too much water though. My brush is awfully wet. There we go. Now, I'm going a little bit bigger than I drew because that's just what my brush did. Normal. And there. Okay, there's our little tree. Now I'm just going to take this same color that I just used. I'm sorry, I don't know the name of it. But I'm just going to put a few ornaments here, like the brightest ones kind of show. And I'll go ahead and grab that that blue, and it's going to be a little bit darker because the green underneath. They may not even want to hardly show, but that's okay. They're far away, far away. And that one I'm just going to leave. Okay, there. Now, isn't this easy? I think it's easy. We're doing great. Okay, now, over in here, I am just going to go back, and this is where I mixed up that brown. It was the green that we used from the tree, and I mixed the purple. And I'm just going to mix a little bit more of that brownish color. There's some of that blue over here. Let's throw some of that in. It'll just be dark there. That's fine. And I'm going to add a little rock here. Or a little dirt, something that's showing up. We did it on the other one. Bigger here. And even bigger here. Nice. And this one has a little bit more showing over here. Good, good. Rinse my brush, set it aside. Now I've got this real skinny brush. It's called a liner, or sometimes it's called a twiggy. And I'm just going to go into, I don't even know what color this is. It's kind of a phthalo green. But I'm just going to get some of this on my brush. Doesn't hold much water, but let's see. Yeah, it's a green. And I'm going to mix that with this brown so it kind of looks like a dead green. Can you see that? Kind of a dead green. And I'm going to go ahead and add, like, you know, some little grasses are coming. Maybe this was an early snow, though I doubt it since people have a Christmas tree out. But I'm just going to add where some little grasses popped up. Like the snow wasn't quite as deep right here. Okay, I like that. I think I'm going to add just a few grasses poking up. There. Nice. Okay, now I'm going to take the biggest brush I've got handy, which is a number 10. Getting it wet, a little bit dab off. I'm grabbing some of this white, and I'm going to do some splatters. The higher your brush is, the smaller the splatters. The closer to your work, the larger the splatters. So I'm going to get a combination, and that's fine. Snow, snow, snow. Now, this is just a fantasy kind of tree, a whimsical tree. I'm not worrying about putting snow on it. We really can't even see branches. Getting a little more white. The tree has snow that's like falling. Over here I got kind of a big blob. I'm going to see now if I can just take a dry brush and pick some of that up. Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, I'm liking this. What are you thinking? I think it's looking good. Real good. Okay, I'm not going to sign it because I've got white splatters just about everywhere. But let's move over here and let's see what else we can do. What do you say? Let's do another one. Okay, I'm looking around my desk. I want to make a decent circle. So I think I'm going to grab, this will really going to get onto my focus. And I'm sorry, but I'm just going to put a circle right here. And this is my coffee cup that I keep my brushes in. So just find a circle. And there you go. Okay, it's big. I'm going to start out with a color all the way around. So I'm going to get that bigger brush. And I'm going to get into the yellow to start with. And this is a pretty bright yellow. I did not wet the paper. Don't want to. And I'm just going to fill this in with yellow. Getting more water, moving around the paint I already have. Keep going. Yep, a little more paint. A lot more water. Some of those white splashes got over here. That's fine. Mix them in. It's Christmas. A little more water. If it's a little lighter at the bottom than at the top, that's fine. And when I mean lighter, I mean like less paint, more water. I'm just going to grab some of this pigment, move it down here. A little more pigment. Oh, we need more water. There we go. Okay. That's a nice start. Okay, now I'm going to get this small brush. It's a De La Rowney. I'm going to go into that lighter green, and it's going to blur, and it's good. That's fine. We want it to blur. So this brush has can you see those wild hairs? That's okay. I'm just putting in some green branches. That's enough. And I'm just going back into that green, and so I'm going back into this green, and this weird brown color I made, I'm putting it right there. Yep, just give me a little bit of a different color. And see how it's blurring mine is? That's fine. All right, I'm going to start making some needles. Line, 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 line. Blurry needles. Some might be more blurry than others, just depending on how much water I used. It doesn't matter, but I am stopping them at that circle. So I'm being just a little more deliberate when I'm up close to the circle. They're blurring nice. Okay, that looks good. It does. I'm going to let that rest. Well, no, I'm not. I'm going to we've got that green going. Let's get some more of that green. I'm going to move over one purple. This is another purple. Let's see what it does. That's a greenish brownish. Needs a little red. I'm going to go back to that pink. A little more. That's a brown. Sure. All right. I'm going to move my painting just a little bit. Right up near those branches, I'm just dotting. And this is just going to give it a little illusion of some wood in there. You don't have to go the whole length of the branch, and I kind of recommend you don't. We just want a little bit of brown blurriness is what we've got there. Okay, good. Now, our ornament. I do not want the ornament to bleed into the background or into all this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a dry and then I'll be back. Nice and dry. And I concentrated my heat tool around the edge of this circle. So if it's not completely dry way out here, I don't care. You know, just kind of did what I want. Now, I'm taking my biggest brush. Now I have, and there's always new people that don't know this, I have a 2-well dish. I recommend for your water that you have two jelly jars, two something. And I'm going into that clean water that I haven't had my brush in yet. And I'm going to wet down my circle. Now, if it drags in a little bit of those colors, it's okay. But it's not going to be bleeding like it was. And I want it nice and shiny. But I did my best to stay within my circle. Okay, now I've got these 3 red tones. And I'm going to go with this first one that we already used. And I'm just going to do like we did in one of our journaling pages. And I'm just charging. There we go. Good. Those aren't moving a whole lot. Not worried about it. I am going to just add a little water. That's a lot of water. Picking up with the dry brush. And moving it around a little bit. Okay. So I'm going to go now into this this red, which is a little more purpley. Going back into my ornament. I don't think I got water on the edge of this at all. So I'm just going to put some dots. I think that's what's going on here too. I'm going into the same new color, more of a purpley red. Now, if you happen to be using paints that have some pearlized paints or even maybe some metallics, you can go ahead and, you know, drop some of that in. Very festive. Okay, now I am touching towards the edge just to get some of the dots there. Where I was, you know, working to not get water there. All right, now I'm going into the 3rd red, which is this one. I don't even know what, it's quite a bit similar to what we've already used. That's okay. Darker, I guess. Grabbing some more pigment. What do you think of this ornament? Festive, huh? I like it. Okay, now I am grabbing this brush. This was the number 8 Grumbacher. Went into the clean water. And now I'm just going to move some of this around so that I get the edge of my ornament. Doesn't have to be perfect. Don't get your blood pressure up. It's not worth it. We're just having fun. If this turns into something that we feel like we can use as a Christmas card, all wonderful. If we can't, it's all right. What are we out? Nothing. Little paint, little paper, little time. We learned. It's kind of smoothing out this edge. Okay, that looks good. Now, I'm going back into my white, that gouache. And now I'm going to add some white. Here, there, here, there. You can be adding, like I said, if you've got a pearlescent color that you want to add, but I'm just in my use what you have mode. So I'm just using white. I like it. Yes, I do. Now I've got quite a bit of water here, but I also have still white between the ornament and my yellow background. So I'm going to move this around a little bit more. I'm not going for perfection, but anything that I know I'm capable of doing, I'm going to do. I'm sure you're the same. All right. The rest of the white that is showing, I'm just going to consider that a glow. All right, now, going back to this De La Rowney splaying not great brush. I'm going into that darker green. I'm going to put it right here. I need some more water. Kind of a phthalo green. And to it, I'm going to add some of that first green because I want it to be kind of a medium color. Get some more blue or blue-green or whatever that is. Okay. I'm going to put another layer, and I'm going to give this a turn so I don't drag my hand through here too much. And I'm going to go and make another group of these needles. I am avoiding the red because that's wet. I'm going to make some straight, almost straight, because those are the needles coming right at us, shorter and straighter. And see, it's pushing that brown back, but we needed that. Gives it a little more of a natural look. Over here, again, I'm avoiding the red. And back into that same color, and I'm going to give this a twist. And I recommend you do the same thing. You know, move stuff around, make it easy for your hand and for whatever you're doing. Can you see how those light, blurry now lines are just adding dimension to this? As my brush gets drier and I'm getting a more broken line, I don't care. It's just needles. All right, I'm liking that. I'm liking that real well. This is empty. I'm tempted to put another branch down here. I'm going to add some water, but I'm just going to do it kind of where I think that branch is going to go. I'm going back to that splayed out brush, going into that lightest green, and staying in the water. I'm just adding another small branch. Good. And I'm going to grab some of that brown color. And I just have some on the tip and my brush is pretty dry. I'm just going to add some of that brown into this blurry branch. There. Good, good, good. This is drying nicely. It sure is. Okay, this needs to dry. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to give this a dry and finish this from drying, because now I feel like the paint has moved all it's gonna move. So we've got all the dimension and interest. It's done all it's gonna do. It's still wet, but I'm gonna dry it. I believe that we're nice and dry, and I'm going to get that crazy Daler-Rowney brush, and I'm going into that middle color that is a combination of that dark green and the light green, and I'm going to put a row on it just like we did. And now I can go outside of where that water is or was, because it's dry. And there's our second layer. Good. Okay, now the branch. Wetting that Daler-Rowney brush, and now I'm going into that darkest green, and I'm not adding any other colors, so I'm just going to put some right here so I can kind of see how watery or how not watery it is. I'm going to start at the far away ones and give it a one more go. So we've got 3 different colors plus the brown. And I just think that's what's going to make it nice. Give it dimension. I'm going to just get the tip of my brush wet. And some more. This is still probably a little bit wet. I don't remember if I did this, so let's do it again. I don't think I did. Here. A little bit more water. A little more pigment. I want some longer ones every once in a while. All right, let's put the dark on this one. Looking good. Okay, we need a little topper. And I did not bring my metallics or anything like that. So I'm going into the yellow. And the background's yellow, I realize that. So to this yellow, a little more. I'm going to just rinse my brush, go into that pink, and just add a little of that, just to make it a different color than what I have. And I am going to, and I'm going right on top of this. It's probably going to pick up some of that color. I don't care. I'm just getting as much of that on my brush as I can. And I'm just going to make kind of a square, but I'm going to make the edges come out that way a little bit. I'm just backing up to see where I think this would be. Kind of a goldish color. Yep. And now I'm blurring out those branches, which is fine. And there's our little topper. Yep. Okay. I'm going to give this a dry. I'll be right back. Okay, good. I'm done painting, at least for now. So I'm just going to move these paints out of the way. Let's uncover what we've got going on here. And just peeling away. Now the board that I'm on, this was a watercolor pad, not an Amazon Basic. I think it was what is that called? It'll come to me. 400 Strathmore. Good, nice. I'm going to set it aside and get this one up. It's already lifting from the heat. Good. One more. Okay, good. I'm going to get rid of the board. And now, this was the one that we did first, so I'm going to start with this one. And I am grabbing a fine Sharpie. And I'm just going to make sure that it wants to write over on a piece of scratch paper. Now, this is our more whimsical, so I am just going to be outlining these trees. I am not going to outline those ornaments. They're too far away. This one, I'm going to start by outlining the ornaments first. Are you seeing it just almost come to life now? Now, if you don't get your line, maybe it heads off in a little bit of a different direction. Like over here, it kind of did. Just fill that in with black. That's all. Now, if you don't have a Sharpie, you can use a ballpoint pen. You can use a different color. Doesn't have to be black. If your colors are dark enough, you could even outline with a white gel pen or any gel pen. Okay, I am not putting a line at the bottom because that's in the snow. So just when I come to that, but I want to tell you before I get going, I am going to start outlining my tree. I got to turn it so I can see where I'm going. Otherwise, my hand blocks my vision. Oops, see, now there's one of those places. I'm just going to make it a little bit darker there. There, I like that. I'm just going to go down here, nice, but I didn't go on the bottom. Now I'm going to take that black and I'm just going to add where I already have some grasses. Those are far away, so I just added a few dots. Behind the rock, in front of the rock. Behind, in front. And there. Sign. 2024. Ta-da! What do you think? Do you like it? I'm going to get it up a little bit closer to you so you can see the details a little bit. Okay. This one. What do you think? Coming along nice, huh? All right. I am going to outline the ball. Now, maybe after you outline it, you're going to feel like drawing in some other little shapes or designs, doodling. You may want to take your gel pen collection and put different colors, intuitively paint around the different blobs of color that showed up. You do you. Do whatever you want. But if you don't do anything, like I'm not going to do anything more with this. I like it the way it is. And I'm going to put my little ornament holder here. I'm going to give it some definition. I'm putting a little scallop. And then where the scallop came up, I'm filling in those places with black. And then at the point, I'm just going to bring it all the way to the top. Just to give it a little something. There we go. That one missed a little bit. I'll just make it a little darker. There we go. And I'm going to give it a hook. Right. And then it just kind of gets lost behind. Isn't that something? Now I'm going to take my black. I am not going to make a straight line, but I'm just going to add a few, not a lot, of needles. And I am working to not go into my white margin. Just like that. Okay, my ornament is plain. And I think I don't want it this plain. I'm going to pull my paints back. And I'm just going to add some of that white gouache because, you know, I'm in that use what you have kind of a mode. Now, you know, I could take stickles and put glitter. I could get my metallic paints, but no, I'm use what I have. So I'm going into this white gouache. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make some, like, this brush is so splayy. I know use what you have, but honestly, that brush is just going to be the ruination of me. I'm seeing if I have a little bit better. This is a Simply Simmons. It's a tiny one. It's a 5/0. And I'm going straight into the paint. Again, use what you have. And especially where I see some white, I'm just going to give it one of those. And little brushes don't hold much water, so you're going to be going into your water more. Good. I put the tip in the water. Good. Obviously, I'm using different sizes. Now, I'm going to put one right here that is, you know, off the edge. Do another one like that. Just right off the edge. That will give it more roundness. I'm liking this. It needed it. There just wasn't enough contrast with all those different colors. But I like it. I like the way that it colored it, but it just needed more. It was looking awfully plain. All right. No pattern. I'm not doing it like polka dots, you know, in a kind of a formation. No. If I see a spot and I think I'd like to put a little starburst, that's what I'm doing. Couple more. Now the paint is more fluid. It's kind of equalized with the water a little bit. Now this white gouache, like gesso, when it dries, it'll sink in a little bit. That's okay. And you might have some like Dr. P.M. Martin or whatever it's called, different white inks, or just use what you have. I like that. I like this little Christmas card. I think it's a Christmas card front. Here we go. All right, Let's take a look at these. Oh, I just put my finger smack dab in the gouache. Here are our two little watercolor, simple, very easy Christmas cards. Let me know in the comments what you think. They're going to go on a card for me. Do I have a card handy? I'm looking really quick. I do. Just so you can get an idea. Look at that. Won't that look nice? I think so. Here's another one. When they're nice and dry, I'm gonna glue those on, and I've got two more Christmas cards. All right, well, you've been with me this long. If you haven't subscribed, please do. About 70% of the people that watch are not subscribed. Today's the day. Give it a subscription. Hit the thumbs up. I am so grateful that you're here, and over down here, a video is going to pop up just for you, and I'll see you over there.